My name is Jim Felly, and I'm the designer of Zimby Mojo. The company is Devious Weasel Games. So Zimby Mojo is a co-opportunistic game. That means that part of the game, players are cooperating with each other, and part of the game, they're basically trying to kill each other. The premise of the game is very simple. There's a cannibal king in the middle of the game, in the middle of the board, in his sanctum. The players have to work together to kill the cannibal king, but then once the king dies and his crown drops, all bets are off, and whoever gets the crown home first wins the game. So down on the board, you have your little tribes of cannibals called Zimbies, and each player is the all-powerful shaman of a tribe of Zimbies. The movement in the game is all based on an expenditure of a resource called Mojo. Mojo is extracted from the player's own personal Mojo and from the Zimbies that they have on their tribal board. So to gain more Zimbies, what you do is it costs 3 Mojo to spawn one from your far shore. So you pay 3 Mojo, there's 1, 2, and you can draw them from your Zimbies on the board. You paid 3, you spawn 1, he comes in upside down. Next turn, they all become active and you have the extra resource. When the player moves the Zimbies out on the board, they can act to go against the king and to claim the crown, but they have fewer resources at home. So there's a trade-off on how you use your currency. You use your Mojo at home, you cast spells or move your pieces, or you move your pieces on the board and have fewer resources at home, but actually get to actively pursue your objective. These are teleporters. There are 4 in the game. If you are in game, let's put that guy here, and you move onto a teleporter, you'll come out at a random other teleporter, but you can expend Mojo to turn teleporters off. So 1 Mojo, I might turn this one off and then have a 50-50 shot of going there. If I turn this one off, I'll go there for sure. If someone's on it, we swap places. If I move onto a portal and there's an obstacle on it, then the obstacle swaps places with me. You can also teleport in from outside the game by paying Mojo to bring a stack in, and then it's on a random teleporter. And then if I end up coming in where someone else is, they actually go home and become a resource that's usable immediately by that particular shaman. There are spells in the game of 3 flavors. We have ritual spells, which are one and done, and we throw them on each other as players. We have incantation spells, which have a lasting effect as long as you dedicate a resource, a Zimby, on it to go ahead and continue chanting. When the Zimby is removed, the spell fails immediately. The bulk of your spells are witcheries. Witchery spells are cast on the main board through Zimbies on the main board. So to get some of your guys on the main board and move them out, they become nodes for spell casting. These have ranges and can't come around corners and require line of sight, but this allows you to interact directly with creatures on the main board itself. There's a couple of interesting features of the game, primarily cannibalism. You as the shaman can eat people off of your main board to gain extra Mojo or draw extra cards, or you can eat them off of the board where you're playing to give the remaining Zimbies in their column extra boost and extra power. There's also a feature in the game called the Bag of Fate. When Zimbies take wounds and they're in a column with multiple tribes in the column, the whole column's dropped in the Bag of Fate, shaken up, and the dead are drawn out at random. It's basically a nice random number generator for any number of creatures that you have. The king is working against you and his thugs are patrolling. Every turn after you move against the king, he'll randomly move on to one of these 4 ritual tiles and fire off the ritual associated with it. There are 8 rituals in the game. You'll use 4 from each game, and they're randomized, so you don't know what rituals are in play until the first time you hit it. Then the next turn, the king will return to the blood mist in the middle, and so on. So there's incentive to kill the king quickly before these rituals decimate all the players. To kill the king, you have to get into his compound. All of the gates, all of the paths in start warded. So what the players have to do is reveal an elemental seal, then that seal and the matching ward are removed from the game and open a path to the king. To do that, players have to work together. You need at least 2 different Zimby tribes, so you have 2 different shamans' Mojo to open up a seal. So that's forced cooperation. Initially, players will probably want to stay cooperating while they go in and attack the king because he's really strong and nasty. Then, once the king dies, His crown is revealed. Whoever can get the crown and run it home wins the game. That's where everyone turns on each other and the mayhem begins.